Welcome back to the official live stream of the Sepang International Circuit. As you can see, onto our second qualifying session. Half an hour of Super 250. What a field we've got today, Ross.
Yeah, 32 riders out there. So many big names to look out for. Yeah, we're expecting great. I mean, we saw that the track was wet in places in the first qualifying session for the Super Stock. I expect it won't be that much different for these Super 250s.
No, there's been no direct sun. That's why the track temperature is exactly the same.
Yeah, Sharil in pit there. He should be out on track.
The three big names from the last couple of rounds to look out for, of course, Surya Narayana, his Pro-Max teammate Lutharith Erwan, they're topping the championship standings right now. Jailani Kosman from Horizon Motorsport was one of the big names from round two. He's in third. 75 points for Surya, 68 for Lutharith, 45 for Jailani Kosman, 45 for Aiman Tairudin as well, who is actually fourth because of points scored, i.e. there were more second places for Jailani, that's why he's in third. But very close indeed when you think of 25 points for a win, 20 for a second, and of course 100 points for the doubleheader weekend, October 2nd.
That's the SIC junior team there. Look at them. How nice does that look? The army of
That's pretty killer.
Races.
I've got to say that those leathers are pretty nice. I would join the team just for the leathers. Then they'd ask me to ride, and that would be the problem. I'd say, can I just wear the leathers for another hour? The ZK Racing Team is the in-house development racing team from Sepang Circuit. So some of the youngest and best riders, all as they move out almost in fleet from the pits, that are being developed in all the different classes. And there have been some very interesting developments. Talking of interesting developments, how about this? This is 3 minutes into qualifying. That's two bikes.
Yeah, Zaifi Zaini was one, and
that's Fauzi Mustakim.
Yep.
Well, we were saying that there were wet patches on the track, and it looks like they just went out a little bit too fast, too quickly.
Obviously wasn't listening to us.
Well, they weren't. They couldn't. We're not patched in yet to the in-house radios. I'm thinking it might be a distraction for them. I'm not sure. But you never know. Don't forget, of course, Super 250s. These slightly thinner wheels as well. And that might be what happened. That's what's happening in the open class anyway. Surya Narayana, Lutharith, and Jailani all fighting up at the top. In the rookies class, it's Litat Mak, Karol Izzard, and Daniel Bogus. We haven't seen Daniel Bogus so far.
No, and
but we know he's up here. So
Lutharith is not on track.
That's
either.
very true.
Neither is Karol Izzard.
That's right. They are all so far non-starters. Those are two big names. Harith Biawan and Karol Izzard. Lutharith definitely. I mean, second in the championship, but it is very close in the rookies as well. So 30 points between Litat Mak and Karol Izzard. As we said, Karol Izzard still yet to start this qualifying session.
Very much a feeling lap out there. 3:07 from Vishwadev.
If I was riding and I saw two bikes off within 3 minutes, I would take it easy. But they haven't got that much time. This is exactly what happened. It was a lockup at turn 9. And that's how it happened. So thankfully, there's no extra debris on the track.
Some measure of control, at least.
Yeah, and he didn't go back on the track, so there's very little debris.
And that's how useful the gravel is.
But that's also one of the, I hate to say trouble corners, but in conditions like this, turn 9, it goes down into a dip, and then it's a hard left uphill. So there's bound to be a little bit of moisture there.
I just caught a glimpse of Lutharith. Bike 38, he is out on track.
Yes, he is out, that's right.
So good to see, because he is one to look out for tomorrow. Certainly he will be.
Now, so far, these two Super 250s have lapped at round about 3:01. Jailani Kosman has put in a 3:01. That was his last lap. Let's see what his best lap is going to be. And of course, with 25 minutes left to go, you'd expect him to be putting in at least 8 to 10 laps. And hoping for 3 to 4 really fast ones right in the middle. Now, a lot of riders here coming up to turn 9 just looking over their shoulders. I wonder if that's got anything to do with, this is the exact point that Fauzi Mustakim came off. And you can see them as they're breaking into it. It's very difficult to break in. A lot of people up at the circuit today are wondering that with such a prolonged period of rain, it's been about 5 hours that it was on. whether this is going to be the case tomorrow morning as well.
Well, you can never tell, can you? Because
You can't.
we could have a blazing hot day tomorrow.
It might be. It might very well be.
We could have both. We could have
Could have a bit of
storm
both,
and a
but
blazing
it
day.
wouldn't be a surprise for this year's championship. Round 1 was wet. Round 2 was intermittent showers, and it was very difficult for the teams and the riders because they, of course, had to move between wet strategies and dry strategies. At least we can say today that everybody's pretty firmly into the wet strategies in their wet tires. Now we should be getting some times in now. Looks like the riders are going to be completing their first lap, getting into their second laps now. Be interesting to see just on that warm-up lap. I said everyone was roughly around about 3 minutes. Maybe they can start hitting about 2:45, 2:50s.
Yeah, you're looking at shaving about a good 14, 15 seconds off that time.
Well, on a
There
dry,
you go.
yeah,
Fish would have 2:55.
so that's our first time. 2:34 is what you'd expect these bikes to be going around in very
Moazim
dry.
Shah, 2:53 is our fastest man.
Vishwadev in second with a 2:55. He's one of 4 bikes on 2:55.
Lutharith is on 2:55 as well, currently 4th fastest.
Right, Alif Ashraf, Amurul Afik also on 2:55. Mohammed Qureshi is on 2:56.
Surya Narayana is on 2:57, currently in 8th.
Well, I'm expecting that to definitely move up. That's our championship leader, Surya Narayana. Already up to 9th by the looks of it.
Jailani Kosman's put in a 2:53, currently in 2nd. Good ride from the Horizon Motorsport rider.
Another good spread of bikes here as well. Surya Narayana, one of the Honda CBR 250s. Vishwadev on a Kawasaki 250. Yamaha R25s in there as well. And Mohammed Efsan on a KTM 250. So good marks, good bikes. And a good pack here. This is almost a racing situation that we have here. Very much what we could see tomorrow. And another rider that's off. That's 3 that we've seen so far in the first 8 minutes.
Yeah, that's not a good sight.
Super 250s race 1 will be tomorrow at 10:15. Race 2 will be at 3:15.
Leading that pack of riders, just glancing over his left shoulder, was Surya Narayana. There you go, bike number 9. That distinctive white helmet of his.
And it doesn't help sometimes in qualifying if you are in a pack, especially in wet conditions.
Especially in a field of 32 as well.
Well, at least you know that everyone behind you is not necessarily looking to overtake in any given situation. They're actually looking to get around as fast as possible.
Good news for the SIC Junior ZK Racing Team.
how
Look
about
at that. Top 3 places at the moment for Daniel Shami, Daniel Al-Fahim, and Idil Fitri Mahadi.
Well, that's how you make everyone happy at the ZK Racing Team, by coming out for 3 laps. Well, Fitri's been on 3 laps.
It's those leathers you were talking about.
It may be.
It's those black leathers.
I myself, as a sports journalist, believe that if you wear black and red, you do better. But that is literally, I mean, I have no facts. I just believe that from everywhere. But they've been doing very well. 2:48.740 is now the new benchmark.
And he's still on a flying lap. Daniel Shami, look out for him, bike 66.
Well, that was a little bit, can't see who that bike is at the back, but had a little bit of a jiggle coming out of 10:15. Didn't work out that well. Lost a lot of time on the straight. It really is about that momentum you can pull through the straight if you're going to get onto flying laps. Something that Daniel Shami, as you said, is doing very well at the moment. 2:48.740, and I reckon that's going to be faster when he comes around for what will be his 3rd lap.
Well, Lutharith has clocked a 2:52. That's moved him up to 4th.
Still, Surya Narayana is the big name that we've got. He's now down to 15th with a 2:57. 2:57.391 was his last, so really off the pace. Well, a good 9 seconds off the pace for our defending champion at the moment.
Approaching 20 minutes to go. We've had 10 minutes of qualifying. And then it's 2 races tomorrow. Super 250, first race, 10:15. And race 2 in the afternoon at 3:15. We expect under differing conditions.
This is a really good performance from the SIC Junior ZK Racing Team. 5 riders in the top 10.
Brilliant stuff.
Right now, 1st and 2nd, 5th, 9th and 10th. That's really good stuff.
And the younger Harith is in 10th.
Oh, wow, yes. Harith Hazik. But this is the man right now. Daniel Shami coming round 248. He should. Both Daniel Fahim and Daniel Shami should come through with faster laps round this corner. Expecting it to. They've both had fast sectors. In fact, Daniel Fahim should have an even faster lap.
And these are young lads on bikes.
That's a 2:44.865.
Great time Daniel Shami's just put in.
And a 2:45 from Daniel Fahim. So these two are really pushing the benchmark. I mean, that is a good 4 seconds ahead of their teammate Fitri Mahadi, and all of it is a good 6 seconds ahead.
I don't know if this is a tactic between Daniel Al Fahim and Daniel Shami, but qualifying together like this, they're pushing each other on.
Well,
great
all
stuff.
5 of those ZK Racing Team riders are now the top 5.
Wow.
So this is probably the best performance we've seen from qualifying for the ZK Racing Team. Daniel Shami, Daniel Al Fahim, Idli Fitri Mahadi, Harith Hazik and Izam Iqmal up to 5, and they're all on 2:52 on these bikes. Unbelievable stuff.
That's a good 8 seconds faster than the likes of Alif Ashraf and Luth Harith.
Now the question is, of course, what do you do when you are putting up that faster time with 18 minutes left to go? This is like maybe the lesson that they're going to have to learn today.
Well, absolutely. This is what it's all about, because your Luth Hariths and your Surya Narayanas, they know there's 17 more minutes.
I'm expecting Surya Narayana. That's the thing with youth. You want to be the best as quickly as possible, and what they train you up here at Sepang is being the best all the time. It's not just being the best. I think there's a great saying, it's not getting to number 1, it's staying at number 1. But right now they're doing a great job at getting to number 1.
Amirul Afik in pit, currently 10th fastest on 2:53.271.
Now I'm still worried about Surya Narayana, still with a 2:57.391. And he's just now, well, he's actually late coming through the start-finish line. He's moved down to 17th now. This is going to be big for the championship. Surya is topping the table at the moment, ahead of Luth Harith BO1.
Well,
both Pro Max riders.
Yeah, this is Luth Harith and Alif Ashraf in your picture, currently 4th and 3rd, respectively.
Luth Harith is now really putting the cat amongst the ZK Racing Team pigeons.
He's on a fast lap, Luth Harith.
Jailani Kosman just behind him as well. In fact, I think that is Jailani. No, it isn't. That is right. Alif Ashraf.
Meanwhile, at the front, Daniel Shami is maintaining his 2:44s.
Now, I wonder how fast. So this is 10 seconds faster, 10 seconds slower than dry qualifying conditions. 2:34 is what we saw Surya Narayana put down on a very bright qualifying session in round 2. And already down to a 2:43. So I think it's safe to say that the track is drying out, which is good for everyone.
Daniel Shami, 2:43, amazing. Daniel Al Fahim, 2:43 as well.
Only 2 riders on 2:43.
Wow.
Double Daniel.
As it stands, the SIC Junior ZK Racing Team, 1, 2, and 3. And
4, just as you say it.
Fitri Mahadi's just joined the party.
Well, let's put it this way. There's only 7 riders that have broken 250. 8 riders that have broken, no, 7 that have broken 250. And of those 7, 4 of them are ZK Racing Team. Jailani's in there from Horizon. Luth is in there from Pro Max. Harith Hazik, so yeah, it is 5 of the 7. Alif Ashraf just in the middle of your screen now, trailing Luth Harith. They've just come across the start line again. There's nothing faster for Luth right now. Well, that's one of the ZK Racing Team that has come off. Now, all we have to do is look at our timing screens and find out. Oh, in fact, it might just be misjudged at the corner. Looks like he's coming back on again. That's a lesson in itself.
Yeah.
Trying to get back on track with speeding riders coming past you. That was in turn 5. So we're going to have to see which of these SK. Well, that looks like it's 99. That is actually Harithazik. I think they just went off for a bit. So he's probably going to put in a much slower time. Daniel Shami 2:43.373, and Daniel Fahim 2 seconds faster than Luth Harith BO1. But credit to Luth Harith for already getting up there. Surya Narayana is in the pits as expected. He was putting in 2:57s. His last lap with 3 minutes 46. Something definitely going wrong with that Promax NJT team bike. And he's going to want to get that sorted out as soon as possible and get out on track with at least 10 minutes left to go if he's going to put in a couple of decent laps. That Honda CBR that's been so reliable is now causing a couple of problems for him. That is Harith again, I think. Yes, that's Harith Isaac. That's the only problem with having 5 bikes that look exactly the same.
Currently 8th fastest Harith Isaac, 250. He's got to break the 250 barrier to get in with his teammates.
So we're about to see now Daniel Shami. Is he going to break 2:43? No, he isn't. He's settled down to 2:43.632. This is going to give the chance for Daniel Al Fahim, who looks like he's going faster, who is 0.04 of a second slower than his teammate as Harith Isaac comes round turn 15. Remember, he went off this lap. This should be a much slower lap for him. It's true, he didn't actually come to a dead stop. Let's see where he is. That is a 2:54.03. So as expected, about 7 seconds slower than his previous lap. And those two at the front, the two Daniels, look to have taken their foot off the pedal.
I think they could be safe. They've got a 2-second buffer.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're not going to go that much faster anyway.
Luth Harith doesn't look like he's able to break 2:45 today.
Well, that looks like another ZK bike. Black, white, and red. It does. Of course, we can't see now. There's been some damage to that bike. As you can see, the front visor has come off, and that's at turn 1 as well. So all we got to do, it's Luth Harith BO1 that is late right now.
That could well be his bike, you know. It's that black and red bike.
Might not be. It looked like a ZK racing. We'll try and get you as much information as we can as it comes in.
Interestingly, Alif Ashraf has also.
Well,
they're both in pit now.
That's it. They've both come into the pit, so it might not be them. It might actually be Muazzim Shah. He's currently missing.
Shah. Currently missing on our timing computer.
Muazzim was putting in some good.
That's bike 66.
That's Daniel Shami's bike.
That's Daniel Shami's bike.
So Daniel Shami is not going to be any other part. That's exactly what I was saying, Ross.
Yeah.
You go out, you do it, you do really fast, you get really fast time. Then after that, you've got 11 minutes.
This is it. I mean, qualifying is one thing, but under race conditions,
now
that's another, isn't it? 12 laps.
That's interesting that it happened at turn 1 as well. So Daniel Shami went straight off at turn 1, 5 laps completed for him, and he's going to have to now rest on a 2:43.373 that, to be fair, is very fast, and that should get him in the top 4.
Now Luth Harith and Alif Ashraf are both in pit, along with Jailani Kosman. There's 11 minutes to go here.
Yeah, they might be trying to pull a fast one, literally.
I think you're going to see them, all 3 of them, come out again. Amirul Afiq as well.
So that's Daniel Al Fahim. He's still out there. Now, he's got a chance here to overtake his teammate if he can get it. I don't think it's going to happen this lap. Currently on his 5th lap, Daniel Al Fahim. Well, Daniel Shami looks Whatever happened, yeah, Daniel Shami's gone.
Is he?
That bike's not coming back. That bike is definitely not coming back. That bike had its front visor ripped off just above the number there. There was basically the windshield that was pretty much clean off.
Al Fahim, Daniel Al Fahim on his flying lap now.
Now this is where no yellow flags have been called out for whatever happened to Daniel Shami. Must have been a very clean exit off to turn 1. And of course, we are hoping that he's all right. The bike had a little bit of damage, probably nothing that it can't really fix overnight.
Ikmal has pushed himself up to 4th position. Another SIC Junior ZK rider.
Yeah, there's still a good representation even without Daniel being on track at the moment.
Yeah, watch out for Fitri Mahadi. I think he might have a say in it as well. 78, watch him.
Well, all 5 ZK Racing Team times, we should say, in the top 8, with 4 of those bikes still out on track. If you have just joined us, Daniel Shami, it's going to be great to watch in the highlights. Hopefully, if we can get a further angle on it, but was ruling it, really, for the first 5 minutes. Now, we're into the business end of qualifying. 10 minutes to go. We should expect to see the likes of Luth Harith, Alif Ashraf, Jalani Kosman, Harith Azik, Amur Lafik all come out of the pits and start putting it down. With 2:43 laps, yeah, you want to be out and warmed up with 5 minutes left to go. So Daniel Shami completely off our timing screens now, but as I said, very fast time put in. Maybe it works out, Ross.
Yeah.
Maybe even just putting those 5 laps in and hitting a 2:43.
He looks pretty safe on 2:43 at the moment, because even Daniel Al-Fahim is not getting closer
yeah,
to
that's
him.
right. Nobody is, in fact. Now, I hope that this isn't that. I keep threatening a light drizzle at some point, but there's a lot of bikes that are now slowing down. And I wonder if they've picked up a light drizzle. It certainly looks a bit darker out there. Now we'd be able to see it from here, and it looks perfectly fine.
That could be Daniel Shami there.
I think it is. I think that's the end of Daniel Shami's qualifying session. Let's see if anyone can better that wonderful 2:43.373. Really fantastic
is
stuff.
back out on track. He's on his out lap.
As expected, and I'm sure Luth Harith. Well, it is raining again, and there you go. There's the shot for it. It's raining heavily. I did say that all the bikes seem to be slowing down. When they do that en masse, with so many being in the pits, no one was on dry tires, I can tell you that. No one was on slicks. Everyone was on wets anyway. But that's pretty heavy rain, and it could really affect our final 2 qualifying sessions coming up after this. I myself, Ross, am very happy that I left all the windows up on my car after seeing that specific shot. Always get that warm feeling inside. Now, Mohamed Kareshmi on an out lap, currently in 12th with a 2:54.599.
We know he's capable of much better than that, Mohamed Kareshmi.
The question is now, with that extra rain, has Daniel Shami actually just really lucked out in this qualifying session? In fact, maybe it was great from all of those SIC Junior ZK Racing Team
Do you know
riders.
what? Even Luth has stayed in pit. Maybe he feels
maybe
his
he's
2:45 is safe.
He's happy. Remember, the second fastest time is going to determine race 2's grid. Daniel Shami and Daniel Fine both put in 2:43s and 2:44s. Luth Harith also put in a couple of 2:45s, so it could be that they're going to keep it for that with 6 minutes left to go. Maybe see if the rain...
Ikmal coming into pit.
That is indeed,
Yeah, currently in 4th. Great ride from the young SIC Junior ZK rider.
Now, that's interesting. Just checking. Well, that's it for Ikmal by the looks of it. And they were just checking what looked like the dashboard. And thrust as well, so maybe a lot of bikes coming in now. It just looked too much like there was a general force that was affecting all the riders. The way they were coming in, the way most of the purple laps sectors had vanished from the side of our screen. We kind of knew that everyone was taking these corners much slower. With 6 minutes left to go, still no yellow out. Each of the retirees from qualifying has at least come off very cleanly.
But definitely rain-affected qualifying session here for the Super 250s.
Something we're quite used to now. I think it's safe to say. And we also have to say that it really isn't the question of how much it's affected qualifying. It's more a question of how much rain falls on the track, because there have been times already this year when we've seen some very, very wet tracks indeed. Now here's another wobble coming into turn 9. And that is Vishwadev in the orange, green and white leathers. Here he is again. Currently in 9th with a 2:52.771. That's what he's trying to better. Sky's darkening a little bit now. And Daniel Shami, the big news in this Super 250 qualifying for 2 reasons. 1, for putting in a 2:43.373 that you can see on the left of your screen, and 2, for actually not finishing more than 5 laps because he did come off in turn 1 as well. So there was a big threat that one of his teammates from the ZK Racing team, or of course everybody else, could have hijacked that with a 243, 373. Only one other rider is on 243, and that is his teammate Daniel El-Fahim. And while I'm on that, what a fantastic performance from the SIC Junior ZK Racing team. All 5 riders have been in the top 10 for the whole session, and at one point they were the top 5 as well. Luth Harith B. Erwan, Izam Ikmal, Alif Ashraf. Well, Luth Harith and Alif Ashraf, of course, Izam is part of the ZK Racing team. Coming through turns 7 and 8. Very tricky corner. It's a broken corner. You've got to pick a double line through there and then down into the dip of turn 9. You just see from the black marks on that corner the kind of braking you need as you go uphill into turn 10. Just at the bottom of your screen you can see, if you haven't got your MotoGP tickets yet, do get them. Get onto the official website, www.sepangcircuit.com. Get them fast because they are already selling out. So far, so good. Luth Harith still in the pits now, but it looks like those 243s and 245s that we've seen, which are now the top 2 and 3rd and 4th, look to be good enough for the front 2 rows of the grid.
You've got to say, it's a great outing for the SIC Junior ZK Racing
Really
team.
is.
Can they take it into race conditions tomorrow, though?
Well, it's been great over this season. Of course, the ZK Racing team is a recent development, but it's been great to see these riders get better over each of the rounds. That's the whole point of the racing team, of course. But now we're seeing some really tangible results in qualifying. And yeah, it's an absolutely tantalizing prospect to think that if you could have top 5, imagine that entire podium at Sepang with the ZK Racing team.
Now, Surya Narayana is still out on track.
He has to be, because he hasn't been putting in some great laps, I have to say. Glad you brought that up, actually, Ross, because he was lounging around in 17th for most of this qualifying. He's 230 left. He's in 9th at the moment with a 251. But that's uncharacteristic.
No, he's got to do a lot better, and we know he can do a lot better. So can Vishwadev.
He's got one last lap. In fact, everyone has one last lap. It looks like lighter skies. I wouldn't say all of a sudden it's dry, but let's see what they can put in. I don't think anyone's going to hit a 244 or a 245 for the rest of this qualifying session.
No, I think Daniel Sharma is pretty safe with his 243. Let's hope his bike is in good condition for tomorrow.
It did look like it was just a front windshield, and that should be a screw-on replacement. That's actually quite lucky, but let's hope that the electronics behind that weren't affected. And of course, it just is intriguing as to what happened at turn 1 for that to come off. I wonder if it was a flip. Yeah,
keeping an eye on our timing screen as well. Looking at the names of Luth Harith is Alif Ashraf. Luth is still in pit, interestingly enough.
Yeah.
245, there's what? A minute and a half to go. It looks like he could be settling.
I think that Luth knows that even if he comes out now with 1 minute left to go, with the track conditions, it's going to be hard to pick that 243. Really, the time to harvest those 243s was in the first 5 minutes of this qualifying session, because that was the most relatively dry period that you've had so far. Now that is Vishwadev.
Well, Surya Narayana is still out on track. He's not bettering his 251,
not at all, is he? Something definitely wrong with that Honda CBR. The Promax team are going to have a little bit of thinking to do. They will have, of course, Luth Harith in 3rd by the looks of it on the 2nd row of the grid, but Surya Narayana is going to need a lightning start if he's going to extend that lead in the championship standings. That's Vishwadev M on your screen, currently in 8th for Team Racer, RACR. 249.863 is his best, and that, coming out of the pits, is Yogeshwaran K from also is his teammate, in fact, from Team RACR. Now that's going to be, well, a very odd time to come out of the pits. 20 seconds left in the session, 1 lap to go.
He's expecting 1 flying lap, is Yogeshwaran.
Yeah, Daniel El-Fahim definitely in the pits, staying there. Luth Harith staying there. Izam Ikmal staying there. Alif Ashraf is still out. Vishwadev, Surya Narayana, as you thought. Muazzim Shah, one of the early leaders, in fact, in this qualifying session, he's out, but I don't think we're going to see anyone else come out now as the time expires. These laps will be finished off, and as I said just now, two big headlines Daniel Shaimi has made in this qualifying session. One, setting a 2:43.373. Two, crashing out afterwards. And, you know, if a lesson has to be learnt on the blackboards up at Sepang Circuit this weekend, that's one of them.
Still take nothing away from
absolutely nothing,
the SIC Junior ZK Racing Team. That's a great outing. 1, 2, 3, 4 of their riders are in the top 6.
It's basically the Hogwarts, of riding, if you think about it. And I mean, looking at it in real terms, to have access to an FIA Grade 1 circuit like Sepang at that age on those bikes is unbelievable. It really is amazing start to their careers.
Where is Daniel Shaimi going to be in 10 years from now?
Hopefully where Hafiz Sharin is right now, because he's one of the biggest names that's coming. But all of these names, in fact, you could even go as far as to say that any Malaysian rider that you see in the headlines, and we're strong enough to say there's a lot of them now. There's a lot of riders and drivers, the likes of Weir and Tan, Jasmine Jafar in World Endurance Championship, Hafiz Sharin in MotoGP, of course. Adam Norridin's another one. All of these names have come up, but who knows where they're going to be in 5-6 years. The only thing I can tell you is that Ross and I are going to be right here telling you exactly where they are, because we think their rise to fame has been fantastic. That's the end of qualifying officially with the checkered flag, and it is Daniel Shaimi with 5 laps completed and a broken bike right now that has taken pole position for race 1 of Super 250, which again is going to be at 10:15 Sunday morning. Yep,
alongside him on row 1 will be his teammate Daniel Al-Fahim.
Now, it's a very special day in Malaysia tomorrow, of course, Malaysia Day. And who knows whether the SIC Junior ZK Racing Team can make headlines on Malaysia Day.
We know there'll be very popular winners.
Yeah, and obviously, if you are at home and you want a good day out, then do come and join us at the circuit. I know it looks raining now, but it is even rain or shine. If you haven't been up here, you need to check it out.
No excuse, really. Monday's a public holiday.
Exactly.
You've got all Sunday. We're here from 9 tomorrow morning,
6, yeah, 6
all the way through to 6 p.m.
Grandstands are free, so do come up. And it will just be interesting to see, as you said, public holiday on Monday for everyone. So even if you did have a nightmare journey home, you'd still get home.
Absolutely.
It'd have to be a real nightmare, I tell you. But we'll wait and see. Right now, it's mouth-watering stuff for tomorrow's Super 250 class, as the SIC Junior Racing Team, ZK Racing Team, have created all the headlines here in Super 250. And still to come, of course, we have Super Bike and Super Sport, and there's a very important, massive announcement for the Super Bike. Shall I tell them now?
Yeah, sure.
I'll tell them now, because it's coming up next. Yukio Kayagama, one of the most experienced, a veteran from Superbike racing around the world, is gonna try and beat Aslan Shah. It's as simple as that. Aslan Shah, of course, is going to be looking for his own records.
I know the rest of the field have already been murmuring about his entry.
Yukio is such a big rider that if you do check Instagram, you will see him everywhere. All the riders are very happy that he's up here. Of course, everyone up in Sepang is very happy he's here. That concludes Super 250 qualifying, and look at that. Daniel Shaimi and Daniel Al-Fahim with the 2.243s that we saw on the day. Luth Harith with a good 3rd, Izam Akmal in 4th, Alif Ashraf in 5th, Idil Fitri Mahadi, Jailani Kosman in 6th and 7th, Vishwadev, Harith Hazik, and Surya Narayana from 8th to 10th.
In 11th, Muazzim Shah, Muhammad Amirul Afik in 12th, Muhammad Karashmi in 13th, Zulfadli Ishaq in 14th, Angelo Neo in 15th, Charul Sharil in 16th, Yogeshwaran 17th, Chanon Inta in 18th, Litat Mak 19th, and Alan Herman in 20th.
Alan Harris Herman, that's right. Ahmad Hazik Faisal in 21st, Karol Izzad uncharacteristically in 22nd. Fariz Zafri, Evzan Aslan, Fauzi Hassan, Yaptek Chow up to 26th, Fauzi Mustaqim, Caroline Wajamil, Lisi Torn, and Faisal Mustaqim to round off 30.
31, Zakashir Zamani, 32, Firdaus Aziz. 32 riders, of course the last two didn't actually make it out on track. Yeah, it'll be interesting tomorrow at 10:15.
That's the first race. Second race will be at 3:15. We'll be back with the highlights from that qualifying session in just a bit. Stay tuned to the official live stream of the Sepang International Circuit. In fact, here they are right now. It started off very nicely out of the pit lane, and at this point, look at the light intensity, Ross. That's what I mean. It was actually dry at this point after a day of rain.
It did rain 4 laps into their qualifying. It started drizzling again.
This was the lockup right from Faisal Mustakim right at the beginning, and
never really recovered from that.
Never really recovered from that. Had to go out, but this was the big story. Number 66, Daniel Shami and Daniel Al Fahim. These two were really putting the jets on coming through this early part of qualifying session, and that would be enough in the end. They both set 2.43s, but that was one of the incidents that we've seen. But really, in the end, at one point, all 5 of the SIC Junior ZK Racing Team were occupying the top 5 positions.
Yeah, that was a great sight.
It was a fantastic sight
computer
for the homegrown development team from the Sepang circuit. Each of the riders within that team, this is Daniel Al Fahim, proved their worth. That was Vishwat F, if I'm right. Yes, no, in fact, that was Mohammed Qureshmi, who in the end put in a 2:54. And finished 13th. And that was, well, at this point we didn't know who it was, but as you can see from the SIC emblem on the side, it was an SIC bike. And
Daniel
the top of the
Shami's
bike, it was Daniel Shami, the top
But thankfully, that was after he clocked a 2:43.
Exactly.
And that was only 5 laps completed.
So there was a roughly 20 minutes for the other 31 riders, including his teammate Daniel Al Fahim, and the likes of Idli Fitri as well, one of the other SIC Junior ZK Racing Team riders that was in the mix to contest that, but that 2.43 did enough. We saw some rain in the end that came through, and in the end it's going to be a 1-2 at the front of the grid for the SIC Junior ZK Racing Team on Malaysia Day. That's going to be a proud moment for them to get up there, but maybe a bit of nerves, Ross.
Yeah,
maybe a bit of nerves.
Pretty sure Daniel Shami and Daniel Al Fahim won't get much sleep tonight.
They won't indeed. And let's hope, of course, we only did see the bike out in the gravel. Let's hope that Daniel Shami didn't take a knock in that out as well.